All right, old school NBA fans, self-researched NBA facts. Another video for you. Thanks to anybody who watches my videos, subscribes to my channel. I really appreciate it. This is part 5 of my Hall of Fame series, the 1990s. And of course, these are the ones that, I got a lot better understanding of since I watched all these guys play live, so I know them quite well, quite intimately. So I'll just get right into it. There's some guys in here that I think should be in the Hall of Fame that aren't. Now players like the international players. Now this is for the NBA Hall of Fame only. Whatever you did in college, whatever you did internationally, does not apply. That includes Olympic play. So whatever these guys did in the Olympics does not matter. So Dream Team 2, Redeem Team, any of that stuff, it does not matter. It has no bearing on your NBA career. That's what this is. And I believe the NBA needs their own Hall of Fame. They let in a string of players that played in the 90s, the 2000s that do not belong. The 90s is where it really started to show up. You had players like Dino Raja, Sarunas Marciulionis, Arvydas Sabonis, Vlade Divac, Tony Kukoc. These guys are not NBA Hall of Famers. You want to call them basketball Hall of Famers because what they did in some second or third rate league in Europe, fine. But they are not NBA Hall of Famers. And people will attach that to a narrative and say, oh, you had however many Hall of Famers. Like, no. Sarunas Marciulionis was not an NBA Hall of Famer. He might technically be in there for his international basketball, but don't throw that junk. Or even like Drazen Petrovic. He died at a very young age. I think he was 26, 27 in his prime, and it's so unfortunate what happened to him. But he was not an NBA Hall of Famer. This stuff just gets stupid quickly. All right, so without further ado, here we go. First player on the list, surprise, surprise, Michael Jordan. Played 15 years, from 85 to 03. Missed a couple years in there. He has 6 championships, 10 first-team All-NBA, 1 second-team All-NBA, 9-time first defense, a 14-time All-Star. He has 10 scoring titles, 3 steal titles, a Defensive Player of the Year, and 6 Finals MVPs. And 6 MVPs, along with, a lot of other stuff. So obviously, Michael Jordan is a Hall of Fame player. All right. Next on the list, Hakeem Olajuwon. I don't even really need to get into it much. I mean, a guy played 18 years. He won 2 championships, 6 times first team All-NBA, 3 times second, 3 times third, 5-time first team All-Defense, 4-time second team All-Defense. He's a 12-time All-Star. He won an MVP, 2 Finals MVPs, 2 Defensive Player of the Year, 2 rebound titles, and 2 block titles. No-brainer, Hakeem Olajuwon, Hall of Famer. Now, both those top 2 guys are in my top 10. David Robinson, another guy who's in my top 25, played for 14 years, 2 championships, 4 first team All-NBA, 2 second, 3 third, 4 first team All-Defense, 4 second team All-Defense, 10-time All-Star, Rookie of the Year, MVP, Defensive Player of the Year, a scoring title, rebound title, block title, no doubt. David Robinson, you don't even need to think about it. Hall of Famer. Scottie Pippen. He won 6 championships, was not the best player, but still vital in the success of the Bulls. I'm never going to say otherwise. He was absolutely vital to their success. Scottie Pippen is a 3-time first-team All-NBA selection, 2 second-team, 2 third-team, 8 first-team All-Defense, and 2 second-team All-Defense. He's a 7-time All-Star, a steals leader, and the 1994 All-Star MVP. So, I think Scottie Pippen has 5 top 10 MVP finishes. So, no-brainer, Scottie Pippen, clearly an NBA Hall of Famer. Charles Barkley. Charles Barkley played for 16 years. He never won a championship, but he's a 5-time first-team All-NBA, 5-time second-team, 1 third, no All-Defenses, 11-time All-Star, the 1993 MVP, a rebound title, no-brainer, Charles Barkley. I think his career numbers are something like 24 points, 12 rebounds. I mean, it's, easily Hall of Fame. And he's even a top 75 player. We got John Stockton. John Stockton played for 19 years, a real Iron Man, because, he didn't come right out of high school. He came right out of 4 years of college. Played 19 seasons. Never won a championship. A 2-time first-team All-NBA. 6-time second-team, 3-time third-team. 5-time second-team All-Defense. A 10-time All-Star. 9 assist titles. 2 steals titles. John Stockton's a no-brainer. I got him probably right around, 30 to 35 range all time. No question, John Stockton deserved. He's a top 75 player. So he'd be like, I think there's actually 76. Top 38, no question. John Stockton's in the top 38. No doubt about it. All right, Karl Malone. Karl Malone, he's in my top 20. So obviously he's going to be a Hall of Famer. He played 19 years. He has 11 first-team All-NBAs, 2 second, 1 third, 3 first-team All-Defense, 1 second, 14-time All-Star, 2 MVPs, a career 25 point, 10.1 rebounds. Obviously, Malone, no question. Clyde Drexler. He played 15 years, 1 championship, 1 first-team All-NBA, 2 second, 2 third. Never made an all-defense, but his numbers defensively were good. He was solid. He was no slouch on defense. He just didn't get a chance to make it because of guys like Alvin Robertson, Michael Jordan, Gary Payton. Those guys were always there to kind of, even like John Stockton. There was guys to take that away from him from guard. He was a 10-time All-Star, career 20.4 points, 6.1 rebounds, 5.6 assists, and 2 steals. Like I said, a very well-rounded player. Kind of like a poor man's Dr. J. That's what I always look at Clyde Drexler as. I mean, he wasn't like dramatically, that far away from Dr. J either. He's a very similar player and very close in talent too. He wasn't as good, but he was close. No-brainer Drexler, Hall of Fame. Patrick Ewing. Guy always gets crapped on. I have no idea why. He never played with any top 75 players. He played with a couple Hall of Famers late in their career, like Maurice Cheeks, a guy who I don't even think belongs in the Hall of Fame. He went his whole career and never had that. Yet he still had the Knicks competitive year in, year out. Patrick Ewing played for 17 years. He had 1 first-team All-NBA, 6 second-team, 3 times second-team All-Defense, 11-time All-Star, Rookie of the Year. 6 times he was in the top 5 for MVP, and 5 times he was in the top 7 for Defensive Player of the Year. No doubt about it, Patrick Ewing is a Hall of Famer. Gary Payton, no doubt. He played 17 years. He won 1 championship, 2 first-team All-NBA, 5 second and 2 third, 9-time first-team All-Defense. That's the most ever. 9-time All-Star, Defensive Player of the Year. He won a steals leader. He had many years of, 20-plus points, yada, yada. Definitely Hall of Famer. Maybe probably the best defensive guard of all time, point guard of all time. Chris Mullin. Chris Mullin played 16 years. 1 first-team All-NBA, 2 second, and 1 third. No All-Defenses, a 5-time All-Star, 1 free throw title, a career 51% field goal shooter. Chris Mullin is quite simply one of the best shooters the league has ever seen. He had some very good offensive seasons, shooting the ball at the free throw line, the three-point line, field goal percentages, points per game, all of it. Chris Mullin's a Hall of Famer. Now, his case isn't as strong as some of the guys up top, but he's a Hall of Famer. Reggie Miller. Here's a guy who played for 18 years, never won a championship. He got 3 third-team All-NBA, no All-Defenses, 5-time All-Star, 5-time he was the free throw leader, career 88.8% free throw, 39.5% three-pointer. Reggie Miller, one of the most clutch players I ever saw in person, like with my own eye on TV, whatever. I did see him play live, but this man had ice in his veins. He wanted that shot. That last second shot, he wanted it. He delivered, not just against the Knicks, but, I remember they were playing the Bulls in the 98 Eastern Conference Finals, and he pushed off on Jordan, turned around, catch and shoot, immediate, nails the three. They take the lead and win the game. I mean, it was insane. Reggie Miller was one of the best clutch shooters I've ever seen, period. And that includes Michael Jordan. I'm not saying he's better than Jordan. I'm saying he's in the conversation with Jordan. He was so clutch. Reggie Miller, Hall of Fame, no question. My favorite player. When I was growing up, it was Larry Bird. Then it became Reggie Miller. I kind of mirrored my game after Miller. Loved his game. I hate him as an analyst. He definitely went full on, but he's a company man, and I hate that about him, but, it is what it is. Dennis Rodman. Dennis Rodman won 5 championships. He played for 14 years from 87 to 2000, 2 third-team All-NBAs, 7-time first-team All-Defense, 1 second-team, only a 2-time All-Star. However, this man has 2 Defensive Players of the Year, 7 rebound titles, and a career 13.1 rebounds per game, which is just phenomenal. Dennis Rodman is regarded as one of, if not the best rebounder, and one of, if not the best defender of all time. So you do those 2 things on that high of a level, he's definitely top 5 in both. You're a Hall of Famer. Joe Dumars. Joe Dumars' case is not overwhelming, but he does have a pretty compelling one. He played 14 years, 2 championships, 1 second team and 2 third team All-NBA, 4 first team and 1 second team All-Defense. He's a 6-time All-Star. He has a Finals MVP, and 4 times he was top 6 for Defensive Player of the Year. Joe Dumars' numbers are solid. He was just a good player. All-around player. Definitely deserves Hall of Fame. Now, he's not like a shoo-in or, like some of these, like he's not a Karl Malone or a Patrick Ewing or somebody like that. But no, Joe Dumars is a Hall of Fame player. He was vital to the success of those late 80s, very early 90 Pistons teams. No doubt about it. All right. Dikembe Mutombo passed away not long ago. Rest in peace, Dikembe. You had a great demeanor and a great spirit about you, and you're going to be missed, man. I missed you when you retired. I did. Mutombo played 18 seasons. He never won a championship. He has 1 second team and 2 third team All-NBA, 3 first team, 3 second team All-Defense. He's an 8-time All-Star, 4-time Defensive Player of the Year, 3-time block leader, 2-time rebound leader. That's Hall of Fame worthy in my book. Dikembe Mutombo, no question, Hall of Famer. Alonzo Mourning, another guy, no-brainer. 15 years he played. Now, he had injuries and illnesses that hampered his long-term success, because I think Alonzo Mourning was easily headed for top 75 territory. This guy was a very good player. He had 1 championship, 1 first team All-NBA, 1 second team, 2-time first defense, a 7-time All-Star, 2-time Defensive Player of the Year, 2 block titles, 2 top 3s for MVP. When it was right around, say, 1999 or even 97 to 2002, Alonzo Mourning was a top 10 player in the NBA. He was awesome for a good 5-year period. So Alonzo Mourning, no doubt. And he came right into the NBA out of college, NBA ready, comes right into the league giving you 20 and 10 right away, immediately. Alonzo was legit. If it wasn't for Shaq, I think Mourning would have got a lot more attention, but they came in under the same draft class. Okay. Mitch Richmond. This is a guy that I didn't get to see a ton. I saw some, but because he was in Sacramento, they didn't televise the games. It was all the way out west. I got to see very little of him. I'll be honest with you. I did see a little. I know his game. He was a good defender. He was solid. He played for 14 years. He won 1 championship. I think that was on the 01 or the 02 Lakers. 3 second team All-NBA, 2 third team. Never made All-Defense. 6-time All-Star. He won Rookie of the Year. He's a career 21 point per game scorer, which is excellent. A career 85% free throw shooter and 39% three-point shooter. Mitch Richmond, for me, yes, a Hall of Famer. Definitely. Tim Hardaway, a guy who didn't get in right away. Took him maybe an extra 10, 15 years. He played for 14 years. He never won a championship. He was first team All-NBA once, second team All-NBA 3 times, third team All-NBA once, total of 6 or 5. Never made all defense. Was a 5-time All-Star. 3 times he was in the top 8 for MVP. Career 17.7 points and 8.2 assists per game. For me, Hardaway, he's in not a strong case, but I think he's just enough to get in. He's just over that threshold. And those are the guys for me that are definite in, okay? Shawn Kemp is a way more interesting case. Shawn Kemp played for 14 seasons, from 1990 to 2003. He never won a championship. He was 3 times second team All-NBA. Now, he didn't take care of himself like he should have, and that was too bad. He didn't make all defense, but he was a good defensive player. A 6-time All-Star, 4 times in the top 11 for MVP, which is very impressive. Career 17.9.7 rebounds for his playoff career. Shawn Kemp was, probably overshadowed by Malone and Barkley in the 90s for the power forward. And then, here comes Tim Duncan right behind them. I think that Shawn Kemp, when I hear the name, should be a Hall of Famer. Barely, but I think he should get in. Compared to some other guys that are in, for sure he should get in. But I think Shawn Kemp is an NBA Hall of Famer. He does not have a super strong case. His career was shorter than it should have been. After the 98 season, he just kind of let his body go. He got into some off the court stuff that he shouldn't have. But Kemp, to me, is a Hall of Famer. Kevin Johnson played for 13 years, from 1988 to 2000. I think he actually retired once. Actually, it was 12 years, and then he came back. He was 4 times second team All-NBA and 1 third team. I mean, that's 5 times All-NBA. Never made all defense. He was a 3-time All-Star. 4 times he was top 15 for MVP, which is strong. He's a career 18 point per game and 9.1 assists per game. That is really good. I want to say that's like top 10 or 12 all time. For me, I got Kevin Johnson in. 5 times All-NBA. Now again, he doesn't have a super strong case, and it's debatable. And if somebody says no, I'm okay with that. Now here's a guy that is a no-brainer for me, but a lot of people say no. I've heard people say no. Mark Price. Mark Price played 12 seasons from 87 to 98. So that's long enough of a career, even though he did have injuries, and that was a damn shame, or else he for sure would have been a Hall of Famer. He never won a championship. He has 1 first-team All-NBA and 3 third-team, so 4 total. He didn't make all defense. A 4-time All-Star. Mark Price has 3 free throw titles. He is a career 47% from the field, 40% from 3, and 90% from the free throw line. I mean, that is remarkable. One of the best lines I've ever seen. That's like Steve Nash, Steph Curry territory right there. That is one of the best lines I've ever seen a shooter have. Now, get to the interesting part about Mark Price. I went a little above and beyond for Price to really sell the case, I guess you could say. Mark Price has 4 top 10 for MVPs in his career. And do you want to know how strong that is? That's more than these top 75 players. Robert Parrish, Pete Maravich, Bill Sharman, Carmelo Anthony, Reggie Miller, James Worthy, Willis Reed, Dave DeBusschere, Ray Allen, Dave Bing, Earl Monroe, Walt Frazier, Hal Greer, Sam Jones, Jerry Lucas, Kevin McHale, Paul Pierce, Dennis Rodman, Wes Unseld, Bill Walton, Lenny Wilkins. More than all those guys. That's 21 players. He has more top 10 for MVP. He has the same amount as Isaiah Thomas, Bob McAdoo, Anthony Davis, Billy Cunningham, if you add his ABA in there, and Clyde Drexler. To me, Mark Price is a Hall of Famer. He was one of the 2 or 3 best point guards for a long time. And I believe Mark Price is a Hall of Famer. I do. I think he's in. No question. I don't even hesitate on Mark Price. I saw him play. That guy was just deadly. He was an excellent passer, and he was one of the deadliest shooters I've ever seen without needing illegal screens or step-back shots to create space. No, doing it the hard way and the old-fashioned way. All right. So, the next player on the list is Vin Baker. I'm not even sure why I put him in there, but I included more than 25 players. But Vin Baker played for 13 years. He had no titles, 1 second-team All-NBA, 1 third-team. He was a 4-time All-Star. Career 15 points, 7.4 rebounds per game. No way is Vin Baker a Hall of Famer. I don't know why I put him in there. Latrell Sprewell, he's got another one of these cases. It's kind of iffy. He played 13 years from 93 to 2005. He has 1 first-team All-NBA, 1 second-team All-Defense. Regarded as a very good defender. A 4-time All-Star. Career 18.3 points per game, 4.1 rebounds, and 4 assists, which actually are, pretty good numbers. But no, Latrell Sprewell is not a Hall of Famer. Brad Daugherty, the teammate of Mark Price. Brad Daugherty played only 8 seasons, and he was going to the Hall of Fame. This guy was excellent. No titles. He had 1 third-team All-NBA, no All-Defenses, a 5-time All-Star. Career, 19 points, 9.5 rebounds. 3 times he was top 11 for MVP. Really good player, but he just didn't have long enough tenure. If he would have played another just 3 seasons, I would have said Brad Daugherty's in. At somewhere around his, current pace that he was on. All right, we got Glenn Rice. Glenn Rice, good player, solid. Played for 15 years. He won 1 championship when he was on the Lakers in 2000. A second-team All-NBA, a third-team All-NBA. No All-Defenses, a 3-time All-Star. Career, 18.3 points per game. 40% three-point shooter for his career. And that's excellent. But even still, Glenn Rice is not a Hall of Famer. All right, how about Vlade Divac? Vlade Divac, to me, he played, 18 years, a 1-time All-Star. There's no way. I put him on here, but no. Detlef Schrempf, he won 6th Man of the Year. He was All-NBA. I think he was a 3-time All-Star. He had All-Defense. He was a nice player, but he's not Hall of Fame, no. But he was a very nice player, no doubt about it. Penny Hardaway, very interesting case for Penny. Penny played 14 years. He played from 94 to 06, missed the 07 season, came back in 08 for his final season. His last 4, 5, 6 years, he was a shell and barely even played in some cases. His career, even with all the injuries, was still 15.2 points per game. Twice he was top 10 for MVP. That was when he was on Orlando. He had 7 years of 15.8 points per game. His Orlando stats were 19 points, 6.3 assists, and 4.7 rebounds, which that's really good. But his, what do you want to call it? He never won a championship. He was 2-time first-team All-NBA and 1 third-team All-NBA. No All-Defenses, a 4-time All-Star. But the strength of Penny's case is not necessarily the stat sheet. It was just how well-rounded and just talented this guy was. Athleticism, passing, shooting, all of it. He was just really good. He was somewhere between, in his prime, he was somewhere between Scottie Pippen and Michael Jordan. He was in between the two of them as far as just talent. Somewhere maybe around Grant Hill, something like that. Maybe even better than Grant. I don't know. But I know Penny was awesome, but he just couldn't sustain it because of injuries, and I can't put him in good faith, unfortunately. So if there's anybody you think I'm missing, please let me know. But to me, these were the best players who played the majority of their career in the 90s. Now, I was thinking maybe Chris Webber, but he's a 2000s player. He just played slightly more in the 2000s than he did in the 90s. And that happened a lot. Like Shaq, he had he played 8 years in the 90s, I think, or 7 years in the 90s. But he's a 2000s player. there's several guys like that. You know what I mean? That, like Grant Hill. There's another one. He played 5-6 good years in the 90s, but he just was not. His majority was 2010s or 2000s rather. I'm sorry. All right, so adding it up, we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. I got 21 Hall of Famers. And I know I'm adding 3 guys that are not currently in the Hall of Fame. But I saw these guys play, and it was more than a 2 or 3 or 4 year run. These guys were really good for 6, 7, 8, 9 years. They deserve to be in the Hall of Fame, all 3 of them, no doubt about it. So anyway, 21 Hall of Famers for the 90s. I think the 70s still has the most because they had 2 leagues. That has a lot to do with it. That has everything to do with it, really. So anyway, that's all I got for this video. Thanks for watching. I know this series isn't getting the attention like some of the other videos do, but that's okay. I figured I'd put these out, if nothing else, but as a reference. You know what I mean? Like later on I can go back and, maybe watch some of it to, remember, and I have it on paper too, just remember all the stats and all that stuff about the players. So it was kind of good just to do. I already wrote it down. All I had to do was whiteboard it and record it. So that's what I did. So anyway, thanks for watching, and please be sure to tune in for, it's going to be part 6. The 2000s will be tomorrow night. And then only one more after that, and that'll be the series. And then we'll see where we're at with it. So anyway, that's what I got. Thanks for watching, and until the next one.